So next up, we have Emily Allen from the New York State Archives. She's presenting Coupling Archival Objects and Digital Objects for Archived Websites. Emily is the head of Accessioning and Collections Management Unit at the New York State Archives, where she works closely with state agencies to ensure the transfer and accessioning of archival records. She coordinates priorities and plans for both large and small processing projects. She is part of the ArchiveSpace implementation team and the Aon implementation team, Kate. In this presentation, Emily will discuss how the New York State Archives recently implemented a new work process incorporating the tools and modules of ArchiveSpace to accession, describe, and provide access to archive state government websites stored in Archive-It. Links to the Archive website are then provided to the public through published finding aids. Take it away.
All right, hi everyone. So this presentation was brought together basically with the training tools that we did for our staff when we were training them on how to do this process for the accessioning and description of archived websites. So I was really, really grateful to my colleagues, Laura Montgomery, Andy, and Michelle Arpey for all of their help. They're an absolute godsend. Okay, so we did, the New York State Archives implemented ArchiveSpace in September 2021. We used the Resource and Accessions module as of September 2021, and then began to roll out the Events modules and the Assessment modules throughout the year in 2022. And we bulk published our finding aids from ArchiveSpace to XDF in October 2022. With the implementation of ArchiveSpace, we had the opportunity to look at how to easily provide access to some of our electronic records, starting with archived websites. Our management had made it clear that they wanted concise descriptions and to make it easy for our users to find and access the websites in Archive-It. ArchiveSpace made it possible for us to streamline the workflow for their accessioning and description. So the State Archives crawls and preserved websites through Archive-It. As these are state government, as we are a state archives government, state government archives, oh my God, I need more coffee. We are responsible for crawling state government websites, including state agencies, commissions, committees, legislative and judicial branches of governments and authorities, and all the different et cetera stuff that goes along with it. NISA policy is to crawl websites at the conclusion of each gubernatorial term, so every 4 years, and we also complete crawls when there's a major event occurring, such as documenting governmental response to COVID, or if a state leader leaves or resigns their position. So I wanted to provide a kind of before and after so that you could see what it looked like. Here's a look at what the archived website series looked like before we started to implement the digital archival objects. Oh dear, it's not. I'm sorry. It's showing on here, but not there. I'm sorry. How do I do that?
Can we show this what's on the screen now?
I'm sorry. Okay. Don't go away. Will she be able to get back her slides? So,
Yeah, I can get it back.
okay, so like this is what it looked like before. And then So that was the before and the after, to just give you a sense of what it looked like. For the process, the accessioning archivist and the description archivist both play key roles in the process, and it begins with the accessioning archivist. We had to ensure consistency between the metadata in ArchiveIt and the information in ArchivesSpace. Starting with ArchiveIt, the accessioning archivist is responsible for ensuring the website title match the title of the archival object and the DAO records in ArchivesSpace. The creator, language, series, and series number had to match the information in the resource record of ArchivesSpace. We included the URL for the finding aid published in XTF in ArchiveIt, and the digital object URL that would take users to the archived website in the Wayback Machine in ArchiveSpace. And so this is a snapshot of what it would look like in ArchiveIt and what the metadata would look like. The accessioning archivist is responsible for adding information to ArchiveSpace for the new accretion in the accession module, the events module, and the assessments module. The accession module includes the basic information about the archived website, including the date, the crawl ID from ArchiveIt, designates the acquisition type as crawl, and the number of individual websites, but not captures, in the accession. In the events module, the accessioning archivist documents who accessioned the record and who captured the website in ArchiveIt, meaning who set the crawl in motion. The assessment module needs to be filled out for each accretion. It documents the types of records in the accretion, along with any descriptive or physical needs of the records. With the crawled websites preserved in ArchiveIt, the housing quality is as good as it can be. So that was no concern to us, and the record type is documented as a website, and there are no conservation issues to be noted. The digital archival object is an EAD linking element used to connect the finding aid information to access copies of the described electronic records. In this context, the DAO creates a link from the website description to a copy of the archived website currently preserved in ArchiveIt. To do this, the accessioning archivist creates the DAO using the digital object function, and then documents the corresponding item level information to the digital object record. And the accessioning archivist creates a brief scope and content note to describe the archived website, and the description archivist will be responsible for adding that description to the archival object. In the digital object record, the title is the same as the title in ArchiveIt. The identifier includes 3 pieces of information: the DAO type, the series number, and the seed URL. So we used, for us, AW for archived website, the series number, and the seed URL. The digital object level will always be item, and the digital object type is born digital. Both are in pull-down menus in ArchiveSpace. Under the file versions section is the URL for the archived website landing page in the Wayback Machine, and the publish box gets checked, and the archives website is selected from the pull-down menu for the use statement field. The description archivist is responsible for creating or updating the resource record for the series or collection information, and this is the descriptive information that gets published to the finding aid. The archival object is used to create the subcomponent description, and this is where the description of the website provided by the accessioning archivist is put into ArchiveSpace. The title, accession number, level of description, dates, quantity, custodial history, and material-specific details fields are filled out in that section. Under containers, the description archivist connects the digital object to the archival object records, and here's how the connection would look. Once the digital object is connected to the archival object, you click Save Archival Object, and the finding aid is ready for publication to the website. XTF formats the information to appear in the published finding aid, making it easy to view the descriptions of archived websites and link to the archives websites in the Wayback Machine. with the final result being, this is what the digital archival objects look like in the published finding aid, making it a lot easier for our patrons to access. And for our reference archivists, before this time, really, we had a very difficult time for reference archivists and our patrons to know where they needed to go to access this. So this makes it nice and concise and simple to follow, made a huge, huge difference. And that's all. Thank you so much.